So without further ado, let's get started. So what I'm trying to achieve is to write a, remember we got enemy movement script, and what I'm trying to do is to sort of make a sort of generalized enemy movements script, so I can apply that to any enemies, and not only just the enemies right here. So for example, if I move this snail to a sort of a platform like this, okay, so when the snail at this place, I don't want the snail to just falling off this platform. I want the snail to say go to the edges and then flip it and coming back, and go to the edges right here and flip it and coming back. So how to do that? So first, of course, I'm going to solve the problem of the movement speed. So originally this snail moving to the left. So what I'm trying to do is to, let's go back to rider. The movement speed should be a minus. Okay, so of course you can just use the -1, and yeah, let's just move it to minus and test it out. Yeah, so okay, and let's just do not enter the game, but rather just using the view, so I can actually see what's going on with our snake. Okay, so snake just go left, and he's just moving to the left. Okay, so we don't want that. We want to the snake to say go to the left and then flip it. So yeah, how to do that? Pretty simple. I'm going to adding a sort of a detector, just as I added detector at the feet of our player. So the detector will detect whether the player touching the ground or not. So if it's touching the ground, it can jump, but if it's moving the ground, it can't do the multiple jump. Okay, so I'm going to use the approximately the same method to work with this snail. So what I'm going to do is to I think maybe adding a collider. So rigid body, we got this capsule collider. Let's add a box collider to it. So box collider 2D. So this box collider will be let's change the shape. Okay, so this will sort of like the detector at the side as well as at the ground. So let's move it to the ground, and let me leave a little bit of space here. So yeah, so remember this the shape need to be pretty specific. The reason for that, I think is a trigger, because it's just a detector. It will not actually collide. So the thing that actually going to collide will be the collider inside. Okay, so let me just get rid of this. Let me just single that out by I think I can hide everything else. Okay, so let me just grab my pen so I can just draw on it. So yeah, let's just get this now. So what I'm trying to do is, this is the actual collider. Okay, so this will collide. Collider. So this is the thing that actually collide. So if you got a wall here, you get a ground here, you would just treat this ball as a collider. All right. So what about that? This is trigger. So which means that when you hit a wall, okay, so when you, for example, there is a wall here, and you go to the left, and when you hit the wall, this will not stop you from moving forward. Okay, so this will actually go to maybe place like this. Okay, so we'll go inside of this wall, but the ball will be like this, and the ball will do the actual collide. Once it collide, we just stop moving forward, but this trigger is already outside of this wall. Okay, so let's go back to the platform because it is a ground layer. Okay, let's just get rid of everything else. Let's get rid of everything else, and camera and snail. Okay, so let's get rid of everything, and I'm going to switch off this time map renderer so you can actually see this is just a pretty fine thin line here. Okay, so for example, if you look at the wall, if let me just draw it so it will become easy. So if the snail go here, the detector will just be outside of this colliding area, because this colliding area is just a thin line here. It's not a solid. So as contrary as many people think, the tile is not solid. Okay, it's just a simple line with texture paint on it. Okay, so when the actual collider collide with this thing, the trigger will just get out of it. So you can use onTrigger exit to say, hey, once you exit, you are going to say change the speed as well as the position. So basically, if you want to flip something, you want to flip this guy, okay? So basically, just change the scale to -1. Okay, so flip that, okay? And of course, you can add a minus sign to the speed of the x-axis and keep all the y-axis speed the same, so you can flip the direction, the velocity, as well as direction. Okay, so speed and the orientation. Okay, so I'm going to unhide everything else as well as the snail, and switch on the time map render. Go back to the snail right here. And remember, if the snail is getting the edge of the platform, so let me just bring you guys here again. So it will be a situation something like this. Okay, so the actual collider, the edges is right here, but you leave the sort of platform because this will be a sort of detector. Okay, so you leave that. Once you leave that, then you are going to flip this guy, so we'll just go to right. Okay, so this only works when the thing, whether it's enemy or I don't know, maybe it's a machine, something like that, will conform to the gravity that hold you stick to the surface. So for example, if you got a pretty weird enemy that stick to the top of this area, you might design something like this. So this will be the actual collider, and the trigger will be something like this. So it will just go up rather than down. Okay, so if the platform is down, then you're going to do something like this. So this will be a trigger, this will be our actual collider. Okay, so I know it's pretty hard concept, and yeah, but it's used a lot in the 2D game development. So of course you can make it 3D, something like that. You can make it 3D, but I think this is just 2D game. Let's just stick with this. Okay, remember the layer is enemy's layer. Okay, so let's write the code. So let's actually write the code to grab this sort of trigger box collider and achieve the functionality of moving in the opposite direction, as well as the flip this image or flip this animation. So what I'm trying to do is to write another code. We got this void star or update, and let me write a void of void is a return type. So yeah, on trigger exit. I think, whoa, it's so smart. It's even know that I want a on trigger exit 2D, collide to the others. So when you collide with others, you can transform local scale vector 3, yeah, vector 2, new vector 2, and yeah. So we get mass sign, enemy rigid body, dot velocity. So x-axis, and gonna flip that sign. So the direction changes. So if it's the left, and then go right, you go left, and then the y-axis would not flip. That would not change. So just 1, and yeah. So on trigger enter, we flip that, and of course this is flipped, but we actually need to our guy to move to different directions. So move speed will flip as well. So move speed will be updated to yeah, I think minus move speed. Perfect. So I think that's pretty much it. So let's test it out. Okay, so yeah, remember I put our snail at the platform that do not have edges to it. So if it won't fall down, that's a good code here. So let me zoom it out, and I flipped the side, and that animation is a little bit strange. Okay, so it's little bit strange, and I don't know why the size also changed. Oh, the size changed because I flipped that to 1, transform. Yeah, so I know the reason why. Okay, so if you click it, the x and y should be 2, so I change that to 1, so the size should change. In fact, it's not I change, it's that Xcode changed. No, not Xcode, it's Copilot. I often mispronounce the Copilot with Xcode. Maybe I use Xcode a lot. So yeah, I also got some tutorial about iOS development. Yeah, and so I think I might as well got the initial move speed to a minus. Okay, so it will move to the left, and when they update, we just use that speed with not minus, so it won't yeah, mess the direction. And when you change that, you update move speed to flip that, and y is yeah, I think I can live with that. So let's test it out, the updated version, and hopefully we can get it to work. So in order for you guys can see it clearly, I'm going to change my player to here, so I can actually see that. Okay, so yeah, so I can actually see that when I play a game. Okay, so I think that's a little bit weird because okay, pretty strange. I already changed the scale, so why is not scale 2? Oh, yeah, sorry about that. I flipped the sign, local scale, I flipped the sign. Oh, so is the velocity to, yeah, yeah, so maybe I just changed the original size, and yeah. Okay, so after I test a little bit, I yeah, solved the problem by just make this whole problem a little bit simpler. So first, the direction is not good, so I just adjust that as the sprite renderer, flip that, so I don't need to do that in the code. Okay, and yeah, so when I flip it, I think I need to move the collider maybe right here. Oops. So I need to edit the collider maybe here. Okay, so make it smaller like that, and maybe using the offset y-axis to make it something like that. But still, I still want it to be a little bit smaller. Okay, so yeah, something like that. And of course, the rigid body, the box collider also need to be changed. Let me just move it right here, move it smaller, something like that. So yeah, so let's try this out. Yeah, so yeah, our snail guy. Let me just get rid of the way. Ooh, perfect. So it won't fall down. Okay, so that looks pretty good. And of course, the collider actually worked. Okay, so if you yeah, hit the player, it will just yeah, push it. And if you look at the code, it looks something like this. So I just changed that to 1. Okay, so won't just change the scale, because I just change the scale when we import this setting. So I will show you how. And the speed, we don't need to change the speed here. And if you go back here, the size of the thing that we changed is here. Okay, so we just changed this pixel per unit. I think previously it's 100. Okay, so I make it smaller, so the whole snail just become bigger. So it won't. You don't need to worry about the using code to change that, because it will be a little bit buggy. Okay, and so for example, if I want to optimize it. So for example, you don't want this snail to hit the player. Okay, so you do want that sort of collide at all. You can go to this settings. I think we got the project settings. We got physics matrix. Okay, and we got enemies to player. So if you don't want your enemy to hit, say, water, ground, something like that, trees, player, maybe just want to hit player, jump, and enemies, we can make enemies yeah, hit enemies. You can get a setting something like this, and then you can see something even more interesting. Oop, yeah, we can't do that. So oops, I know the reason, because we use sort of a detector here. So we need, let me show you the code. We got the detector to so if it does not touch the ground, it will just yeah, flip that. Okay, so on trigger exit. So we need the ground to collide. So I'm going to change the project settings, and enemy, no background, but actually the ground. All right, so yeah, and in order to test that, I'm going to duplicate the snail. So snail 1, 2, 3, 4, and using W to make all the snail bump into each other. And let's test this out. Okay, so yeah, just sort of give you more enemies, and so you can get more experience to it. Yeah, we get bump into each other. Okay, pretty interesting. A little bit buggy. Yeah. let me move it so the camera will. Yeah, I think the reason for that is that when they bump to each other, and then the trigger exits, so sort of a conflict, and yeah, so yeah, some of the snail even got out. Yeah, so yeah, I will solve this problem later on. For now, just need the kinetic. Yeah, I'm going to debug a little bit, so we can get bumping each other and change direction. So maybe because of the shape. Okay, so maybe when you say flip it as the something like this. Okay, so then yeah, maybe something hits here, and it will trigger exit. Yeah, let's think about it, because if you can touch the yeah, let me just pause the video and do a quick debug. Okay, so yeah, but if you delete all that, I think the code will work pretty well, because there's no interaction between the enemy and the okay, so yeah, works perfectly. Okay, and I'm going to test it when this snail is here. Okay, so let's test this out. I'm going to walk down so I can see what's going on. Okay, so we got the collider here. Okay, I think I need to move that to the ground. Okay, so I can change the body type to dynamic. Then it will just falling down, but this will cause the computational power. That's just the kinematic, and then to move it exactly at the floor level, and then test it out. And hit here and flip that. Okay, so pretty good. I'm going to jump it out of the way. Okay, so pretty good. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to pause this and do a little bit debug, and hopefully to solve this multi-enemy bump into others bug. And until then, I will see you at the next video. Bye.